President Trump wrote on Twitter, "Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life." Don't let it dominate your life?
In terms of responding to a comment like that, it's gross.
It's okay to be afraid of COVID, and it's okay that it's dominating your life.
Everyone should be afraid of COVID.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
I can't come in, Mom. It's because of this flu thing.
We won't be free of this pandemic until we listen to the acknowledged truth. Listen to the scientists.
Science is truth.
You know, science is truth.
What is the impact to public health when people are openly questioning the science?
Now is the time to do what you're told.
By not hearing the truth, by not listening to the scientists, they are prolonging how bad the economy will be.
When I see somebody out in the world who's not wearing a mask, I instantly think you are a threat, or you are selfish, or you are a COVID denier, and you definitely haven't been vaccinated.
Either wear a mask or get the fuck out.
What does this have? Are you vaccinated?
I am triple vaccinated.
So why are you wearing the mask?
Seek out the scientists and listen to their advice.
Listen to scientists. Listen to the scientists.
Trust the experts.
We're going to trust science. We're going to trust the experts.
Parents who say, well, I need to do my own research, makes you think of that cartoon I saw of the tombstone that said, I did my own research.
Be leaders ourselves.
Black women are being used by the Democrat Party.
All of these socioeconomic indicators are in the negative, particularly for Black people.
They want mob rule. When Trump was in office, please somebody tell me what act of dictatorship did he perform?
She has Donald Trump's hair on top of her head. And she's sitting here talking about brown girl this, brown girl that.
Because she's a Black woman.
They would ask her how to spell her first name and clap like sea monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It is Friday night, and it's a Valentine's Day Friday night. And of course, this is Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. We have Nicole Bennett, and then, of course, Shelly E. All right, before we dive in, do me a favor, tap that thumbs up and subscribe right now. That certainly helps to push and amplify our voice here on YouTube. Every time you hit that like, well, not every time, but the more likes we have. So please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. What are you waiting for? Folks, we are here on YouTube. We are also on Rumble. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. And we are going to shout out our true super chat. That's what we do. We're shouting out our super chat tonight. So it's the best way to get your voice heard in the conversation and to show love for conservative content. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us, subscribe, so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. How are you all doing tonight?
Much better.
Good. Oh, it's been a long week. We were all sick except for Shelly. And poor Nicole, you were really out of it. You feeling better?
Oh, much better.
Good. Good. Well, happy Valentine's Day to you both and to all those that are watching. We want to wish you all a lovely, heart-filled weekend of Valentine's. And so in honor of Valentine's Day, we thought we would do something fun tonight. So what we're going to do is we want you all to crown. We're going to have a contest between the three of us ladies. So in actuality, we're all your Valentines tonight, right? We're all we're your Valentines. But we want to see who is the Pop and Politics Patriot Valentine of 2025. And in order to do that, we're going to have a fun contest and let you all pick. So with each super chat you guys do tonight, please put on there our names, whether it be Shelly, Nicole, or me, KJ. who do you want your super chat to be listed under? And whoever that we're going to tally up who has the most money tonight in super chats, and that person, either myself, Nicole, or Shelly, will be crowned Pop and Politics Patriot Valentine of 2025. Okay. So it's just something fun, Friday Night Live, something fun. So again, every super chat that you guys do tonight, make sure you put on there, your comment and say, this is for Shelly, this is for Nicole, this is for KJ, or, and then we have people in the back, the producers are going to tally it all up. And whoever gets the most money is going to be the Pop Patriot Valentine of 2025. So we already got one here. Gimpy, he gave $2 super chat for Nicole. So Nicole is in the lead to be the Pop Patriot Valentine of 2025.
Right. That's going to be a lot for you to say every single time. That's a lot. You should reduce it to, 4P? You'll be the 4P
Pop Patriot PPV.
There you go.
All right. So at last satisfied page. I'm just tongue tied all over tonight. Shalom, happy Valentine's, Pop and Politics, and to everyone in the chat. God bless and keep you all. Counting all of my blessings to be alive at a time such as this. Amen. Absolutely. And God bless you as well. Yes. All right. Faye Frost Johnson with the $2 super chat says KJ, Nicole, and Shelly. All right.
Okay. That's one for each of us.
Yeah.
That's one for each of us.
Yeah.
Spread it around.
All right. So let's get into it, folks. Man, just watching that montage of Trust the Science playback, I am so thankful. The person who just posted that, I think it was Chadwick, with the at last satisfied patriot was right on time. He said, I mean, we are so blessed to be living right now and have Donald Trump as our president after seeing that montage of those nuts push this COVID lockdown fear on us. Shelly, what did you think about, now that you look back, it seems so long ago, or does it?
I guess it's not long enough, because when I see things like that, I have a visceral reaction, and my anger just surfaces of the pain, the harm, way more, or at least equally as more. And I'm not talking about, I understand people who die, and I'm not minimizing those families and those losses, but the pain and the harm that was purposefully inflicted upon the masses of people by these elites and bureaucrats who demarcated us by essential and non-essential. I get enraged even more, and I mean, my rage just goes out the door, and then add on top of the things that they're still trying to hide and cover up, the Fauci's and all of these Dr. Birx or whatever her name was, that basically got away with quote unquote harming people. I'm not going to say murder, because I use that word very specifically, but they added to the pain and suffering of the American people many-fold, many times over, and it makes me angry. I'm beyond the grief. My heart still goes out to those families and loved ones, but I'm beyond the grief. I am out for revenge.
Yeah, Nicole, what are your thoughts on that montage?
Listen, I'm so grateful. Like the Patriot said, I am so grateful that we're living in this time, because guess what? If we were not having Donald Trump as our president, this H1N1 would have us locked up in our houses already. They were gearing up toward this. Thank God Kamala didn't win this election, because she would have stopped everything again, because they saw how easily we folded the first time. It made me angry to watch my patients die alone. Small children die alone, older people die alone. And it did not have to be that way. And then you hear them trust the science, trust the science. Fauci's this, walking, talking virology god. This guy's a whole damn putz. If anything, he should be in jail for treason for what he's done to this country. Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, I'm not a big pardon fan, generally speaking. But that was the one pardon, if I were Biden, I would have done, because the world is coming for him. The absolute world is coming for him. And I hope they catch him. I really do.
I do too. I want to acknowledge our super chatters here, folks. Thank you all so much. Certainly appreciate you all, and happy Valentine's Day. Yes, all right, let's see here. We have my last satisfied Patriot with the $20 super chat. Says, my choice is all three. Thank you. Says KJ, Nicole, and Shelly E. I mean this for real. Blessings to you all.
Oh, thank you.
Certainly appreciate you. Morath for the $5 super chat says Nicole 100%. All right.
Thank you. I'm catching up.
Yes. C Mac with the $2 super chat says KJ, but love all three of y'all. Oh, thank you so much. And Chadwick with the $10 super chat says Shelly, thank you for your service. Yes, indeed. So, folks, Faye Frost, all three with the $2 super chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, so you guys just tuning in. We are seeing who each super chat. When you super chat tonight, put a name on it. And whoever has the most money super chat at the end of the night will be crowned the Pop Patriot Valentine of 2025. Okay. So just something fun we're doing tonight. So we appreciate you all. And we're happy to be here with you guys tonight on this Valentine's Day. Again, as I look back at that as well, when I looked at it, I was furious, upset. I'm still upset because Fauci is free and he's got these preempted pardons that I hope the Trump administration somehow gets around. Mm-hmm. But then I saw this with, it's been a fabulous week for Trump. Overall, it has been, with the nominations that have passed. We're waiting for Kash Patel next week. But all in all, it's been pretty good. And now we have him out today with the newest executive order, one of the newer ones that he signed, defunding any school that still has a COVID jab requirement. This is clip 5. Take a look.
Okay, that solves that problem. So will the Department of Education have to handle that? Yes, it'll go through the Department of Education.
So that was well. I'm happy that he did that, because it should have never been in place. Where people, I know many schools here in Maryland were private too, were requiring students to, in order to come back to school, they had to have the jab, and it was such an encroachment on our rights. Nicole, what do you think of that?
I loved every minute of it. Did you hear what he said after he signed his name? There's just a command in his voice where he says, fix that. We're going to fix it. And he's absolutely right. Maybe a few years ago, I went to a program at Yale, and even applying for this program, and this was well after COVID, you needed to show them your COVID card or proof of vaccination just to be on their campus. And this was at the law school, which kind of sits apart from the regular part of the campus. And I'm thinking to myself, COVID vaccine? Really? But they also asked me what my pronouns were. So
I'm not surprised.
Ivy League, Schmivy League. Let me tell you, these people are a pain in the ass. But it makes me crazy to think that there is still today a way to divide children into vaccinated and unvaccinated. I think it is just reprehensible. And I'm so proud that he signed it. And what he said, fix that. It's fixed. Done. Stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shelly, your thoughts there on that, him signing it?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. I want to address, I see some comments about me using the word revenge. Okay, to all you Puritans out there. Okay, number one, I'm not God. I guess I'm losing the vote tonight. I don't give a damn. I'm not God, number one. Number two, if you want to say justice, I'll make you feel better. I'll say justice or whatever. But I want something done. Again, whatever. I'm sick of this foolishness, whatever. These people have done immense harm. You want to use the word revenge, or if I want to use it, I'll use it. If that doesn't make you feel like you're so holy, whatever. I'm not God. God does have the final say. But right here on earth, we have a say. And that's what I would like to happen. I want justice, revenge, whatever you want to call it. I'm just expressing how I feel.
Yeah. You know how we are here. Everyone can, free speech, free
your
speech.
mind.
Yeah. And we know that you have no complaints. You will not be
never a humble opinion. Never a humble opinion.
Not at all. So yeah. So yeah, we all, you talk about the people who passed away from COVID-19, and Rfk Jr. was out today and put forward a scathing speech about how we really don't know how many people have been affected by this jab. We don't know, really. So you have that, and then all of this stuff that Fauci did, the 6 feet apart, the massive closed lockdowns of the schools and things like that. Suicides went up. All kinds of domestic violence was unable to be tracked and things like that. We still do not know the actual effects of his draconian lockdowns and the mismanagement of this, what it has done. The blood on that man's hands is just, it's probably the worst. I would say it's the worst thing we've seen in my generation. I feel like in my generation, I put this up there with like a mass shooting. I do because of the impact that he had, and then to find out that all of it was a lie. It was a lie. So, and now he may get away with it. He may get away with it. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating. But you know what? What you said was what some of the people in the chat, I know we serve a just God, and he will get he will get what he deserves. I'll say that. He will get what he deserves. And so there would be no doubt about that. Here or in the next life. I would say his next journey. He will get what he deserves. So but I do pray that President Trump is able to somehow get around that preemptive pardon. I really do. And no telling what else he's going through. No telling what that man is going through in his personal life, in his professional life. So, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, like you said. All right, we have some more super chats here. Thank you all so much. Allie with the $10 chat says, you all are my girls, but KJ, you crack me up. And I get your crazy sense of humor, so I picked KJ. By the way, I'm with Shelly. I want revenge for those evil people. All right, Allie. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's see here. So I want to change gears for a little bit here. We're going to get back to RFK, but I want to go back. I want to change gears to Joy Reid. So Joy Reid was on the news recently. She claimed that every single Republican would say yes to President Trump selling the country to Russia during her recent show. And so I want you guys to take a look at this. This is clip 8.
President Trump.
We should note, again, you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your talk? Because I don't believe it.
is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
Very clear that the cut and slash and burn of these federal agencies, pushing out federal employees and zeroing out programs like USAID, et cetera, is the bait. And the switch is they're going to ram through this tax cut that's going to mainly benefit the top 1% income earners and big corporations. And they're going to make poor people, people on Medicaid, pay for it, people on food stamps. So
the key point in the House, given the closeness of the margins, is that to stop any of this bad stuff from happening, it only takes 3 House Republicans to do the right thing on behalf of the people that they represent, to stand up for children and seniors and people with disabilities and veterans who will be hurt badly by this Republican budget proposal.
But we've seen, Leader Jeffries, that there aren't 3. There aren't any. If Donald Trump announced tomorrow that he was selling the United States to Vladimir Putin personally and that we will now be owned by the Kremlin, every single Republican would say, yes, sir, and vote for it. We already have seen their behavior. We've stopped, I think most of us have stopped expecting any different behavior from them. So the question to me is
all right, they're idiots. They are idiots. First of all, I actually laughed at this when she said that President Trump's tax cuts, that he's going to make poor people and those on Medicaid pay for it. How are they paying it for it, you dummy? They don't make any money if they're on Medicaid. If they're poor, how are they going to pay for it? They probably don't have a job. You are so stupid woman. But people sit and believe this crap that she said. Mm-hmm. And Shelley, what do you think about what she said?
All right, first I'm going to give Joy a compliment. She actually looked very nice with her makeup or whatever. She really did. I'm not saying that to be funny. She really did look nice. But we know, first of all, 99.99% of everything Joy says and talks about, it's mostly racially focused. So I can't really take her serious on anything. If you don't have the economics to do X, then what difference does it make what your skin color is? She's a racist. She's a racist.
Yeah, and she's an idiot. She's an idiot. And anyone that follows this woman and believes what she says, I question your intelligence, Nicole. I mean, do you get what she just said? People on Medicaid are going to pay for these tax cuts. How?
Most of the people who are on Medicaid need it. Let's just call it what it is. It's a state-run program with federal money. The problem that I have with Joy is that she's still race baiting after getting their butt kicked all over the place, losing their viewership. The station's up for sale, and she's still race baiting. And I agree with you, Shelley. She had a much softer look today than their usual heavy, kind of dark thing that she's doing. Maybe she's trying to lighten up in phases. I can't wait for her to get to the good on policy part of lightening up, because what she's doing is trying to inflame what she believes to be the Democrat base. but you can't serve two gods. Let's put that in there. You can't serve two gods. You can't be a hateful, race baiting, you know what, right? And on one hand, and then turn around and say, well, these Republicans would do anything that Trump says. They would sell the United States to Russia. Are you serious?
They know no one would do that. That didn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Here's the thing. Republicans, for the most part, are incredibly patriotic. Even when Joe Biden was our president, I still have my flag flying. This is still my nation. I disagree vehemently with all of his policies and the things that he did, but I am still an American. And there's respect that goes with that office, even if I don't agree with the person who's sitting in that chair, right? This is what she doesn't get. She doesn't have any respect for the office of the presidency. She doesn't have any respect for the congressman that she continually drags through the mud. How dare you tell me what my constituents need? You don't know my constituents. You don't know what our needs are. What she needs to do is shut up. That would be the best thing that she could do. Shut it on up, Joy. Just be quiet.
Absolutely.
Let Hakeem talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to acknowledge our super chatters, folks. We really appreciate you all tonight. If you're just joining, happy Valentine's Day. We're happy to share Valentine's Day with you tonight. All right. At last, Satisfied Patriot with the $20 super chat says, Shelly E., God is the one who judges, not any person. I love you for speaking your mind, and most of us are fed up with all of the evil. I still want the three of you to wear the crown. Love you, beautiful queens. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we move on, who gets that vote? I'm sorry, I just don't know who to give it to.
I think it's all three, right?
All three of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see,
okay.
All three.
Yes. All right. All right. Damian Diallo with the $20 super chat says, KJ, but you know what? Can I have all you sisters as Valentines?
All three.
Thank you.
Sure.
All three. All right. And let's see here. Thank you so much, Damian. Gary with the $10 super chat says, I wish Shelly would speak her mind and not be so shy. Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
He is being sarcastic there. All right. Yes. And by the way, you all are too kind, Nicole and Shelly. I don't see any beauty in that woman. Her nasty attitude makes her look ugly. I can't see anything past that. And she lies. She lies for me. So
her personality hasn't changed, and she's all of that. But her visual is a little bit different today. Much softer, much more feminine than what she usually looks
like. I see black ash. All right. So I do want to acknowledge we have another super chatter here. All right. Let's see who we have here. Black as our heart. Stephen with the $10 super chat says, Happy Love Day, ladies. Love all of you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. All right. And we are on our way because tonight we are every super chat you guys do. You would just put on there who that super chat is for. And then at the end of the night, we are going to add everything up. And whoever has the highest amount in super chats will be the Patriots Pop Patriot Valentine of 2025 between the three of us. So it's a fun game. We're playing.
What a name.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. So moving right along here, I want to talk about the Department of Education. So the Department of Education has really been in the top of news most of the week. You guys know that Linda McMahon, she was in front of the Senate this week in hearings to lead the Department of Education. And as Trump said, to lead it to its end, hopefully, because he wants to eventually abolish it. But with her, she had a very great speech for that. She basically said that the Department of Education needs to put education back in the hands of parents, which we have all on here talked about that it needs to be done. Want to also acknowledge additional super chats here, folks. Thank you all so much. Rob Otto with a $10 super chat says, Democrats always use the fear of losing benefits to scare people, but you are in B more. How's 60 years of Dem policy working out?
It is not working out. It's not.
Nicole, you
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, Nicole,
Thank
you
you.
talk all the time about what's going on with the Westmore administration. We are about to be taxed. We taxed out the yin yang. I mean,
Yeah, the sin taxes are coming. He talked about the sugary drink tax now, and that kind of thing. So for those people who like the what is it, the caramel craze latte over at Dunkin', you better put a couple extra bucks on that $5 coffee, because Westmore's got his hand in your pocket up to the elbow, and it's going to get worse. It's just going to get worse.
We've actually had recently, we've had more and more people move to Virginia, or at least change their address to Virginia to avoid some of these taxes. I mean, it's damn right. You would think almost criminal what they're doing, or what they're about to do.
Well, there's something coming for them, and if you are a someone who pays attention to trends on social media, Change Annapolis is back up and running and posting maybe 5 to 6 times a day. And the former good governor of the great state of Maryland, Larry Hogan, has emerged from the ashes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have us a battle royale.
Wow.
I have an acronym for DMV. DMV is going to be called, as far as Maryland is concerned, desert, move, and vacate.
Ooh.
That's what it's going to be called. Desert, move, and vacate, particularly Maryland and all of these surrounding states. Thankfully, Marylanders, we can get to 3-4 states or so in an hour or less, right? Some of them we literally can get there in 20 minutes, right?
Sure.
So that's what it's going to be called. I mean, again, we're talking about COVID, taxes, all Joy Reid and her racism. If we think about it, if I think about it in the really, really big picture, all of these leftist policies do nothing but destroy, harm, kill, whatever. That's what they do. They cause so much harm and danger to people. I mean, financially, education, emotionally, no less, right? Literally, physically, because of the policies and what they contribute to. I don't understand why people continuously vote this way, and they really don't see whatever results they think that they're looking for. I don't get it. You sacrifice your children, you sacrifice your economics, because these politicians, these bureaucrats, remember, these essentials and these elitists, they have determined what's best for you. And you all Google-eyed and skin color focus, believe that that's what you're going to get back. There's no return on your investment. And this is why, particularly for Black people, this is why we are in the bottom rung of the indicators.
Absolutely. I have a couple other super chat here, so let me get you guys before we move on to the next topic here. Tijuana Border Jumper, happy Friday, happy Valentine's Day, Tijuana. He says, happy Valentine's Day, late but always glad to be here with his $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Certainly appreciate you. And Trey's Chocolate City with the $2 super chat says, 3 beautiful queens. I choose you all. All right. Absolutely. Thank you. And happy Valentine's Day. All right. So we got to get into this education piece. So guys, if you are on Twitter, check out Christopher Ruffo. I don't know if he says his name is Christopher Ruffo or Chris Ruffo on Twitter, who was very instrumental in Florida trying to get out DEI, get rid of DEI. And he's been helping the Trump administration as well. He's a researcher, and what he has put together with research and things about these NGOs and how they have been funded and what they have actually done in education is remarkable. So definitely check out his Twitter. He has a Substack as well, Christopher Ruffo, R-U, F as in Frank O. So recently he put out multiple clips showing exactly what our children in K through 12 and some college are actually getting introduced to in school through the Department of Education. So they have funded NGOs, this one in particular, which argues that white children must push through all of the white fantasy that that is just part of what it means to grow up in a white supremacist society. They believe that white children are not innocent. I want to take you guys to take a look at this clip, and then we're going to unpack it. This is clip 1.
And I have 2 white children, 2 white daughters. They are 7 and 9. And when I think about that question that you asked, what does it mean that's different? I think about how I'm really trying to force my children to reside in reality. So that means that they are going to really push through all of the white fantasy that is just part of what it means to grow up in a white supremacist society. As gets talked about quite a lot, is that whites have a lot of fantasy about what it means to be white and how maybe they deserve everything that they've gotten. There's a lack of history. Their children are very innocent, and that innocence follows them throughout their lives, through schooling and in every single institution. Whereas children of color are, even in some cases, as Ferguson studied, are adultified at very young ages, not even seen as children, as innocents that deserve loving correction or the same nurturing. And so when I think about how to interrupt that with my own children, it comes up in many different ways. One of the things I think that white parents need to not be afraid to do, and which I know that they are, is to actually name racism as a power dynamic between white people and people of color.
What? Shelly, what did you think of this exchange?
When I first heard that, I said, bitch, please. I mean, these people, I know she's a mother. These people they are warping children. Okay. Mm-hmm. They are warping. That's all they're doing. I can imagine what's going through her children's, she say 5 and 7, whatever they are. Can you imagine their minds, the confusion? They see a black person and then they think, oh, I have white privilege. What? 5, 6, 7-year-old child goes around thinking, oh, I have white privilege. Or, I mean, they have to be taught that. They have to be told that. This is another form of grooming, maybe not sexual grooming, but it's grooming no less. They are literally playing with the minds of their own children. I mean, it's abuse. It's another form of abuse. This wench actually thinks in her mind that because she has white skin, that she's better. This is the leftist way of trying to make it look soft, but they really believe that they have this supremacy, and then they want to couch it as if they are trying to become anti-racist, to use Ibram's word. They are full of it. They are warping the minds of young children. I detest them.
Yeah, Nicole, this is wicked.
It's absolutely wicked, but this is the face of DEI. When we talk about the people who benefited most from DEI, it is exactly her, the white woman. This is someone who hits all the buzzwords and her nonsensical, very, very, compared to Kamala, I'm going to give her that credit, smaller word salad, but word salad nonetheless. This is someone who will be the head of a DEI program at the school or at the school board level. This foolishness, as Shelley's right, is absolute terrorizing mentally her children. Now, what white woman has to announce to the world that she's got 2 white children? We started off on the wrong foot right off the top. I'm sorry, I have 2 white children. You don't say. I would think that maybe you have a Dachshund and a German Shepherd at the house. Girl, we know you white. You don't have to.
They don't even say, when you talk about a baby in the womb, they don't want to call it a human.
No.
So why are they calling their own children? It's ridiculous.
And then to talk about how she's coaching them out of. And so I want to know what that looks like from a CPS point of view. What does that look like? Are you stopping your children and saying, no, you can't have a cookie. You should give all of your cookies to children of color because they may not have parents who have the ability to buy them cookies. Do you see the racism in that? And it's not racism that this child was inherently born with. This is this mother teaching them under the guise of we're better because we're white. Hear that, white supremacists. We're better because we're white, but because we're better, we have to humble ourselves and treat minority people a little bit better than we normally would. This is not new. This is the same old trope that you get from very, very liberal people on the regular basis. The problem is the Black man who was sitting there, and you know he wanted to say, heifer, shut up. Girl, close your mouth, and said nothing. And the Black woman who was writing notes so fast, I thought her pen was going to explode. And I'm sure she's thinking, maybe I could spend some of this into one of those DEI executive jobs, my doggone self. But that white woman's got that DEI job on lock with that kind of conversation. Make no mistake.
Well, this is the entire idea of the grift. And this is why we're seeing Democrats all over the country literally lose it, meltdown, because President Trump is closing the pipeline to these NGOs. In fiscal year 2024, the Department of Education spent $268 billion with a B. That's a lot of money. And since 1980, the spending has increased 372%, which is almost double the increase of the size of the rest of the federal government. So, this has become the cash cow of the government. What they do is they use this money and they funnel it into these NGOs, and then these NGOs then push out this trash in DEI and gender ideology and all of this crap within education. And that's what we're seeing. According to Daily Wire, who was reporting on this, the dollars went indirectly to the lower level, to the grifters and cretins of the unions, like the AFT, American Federation of Teachers, the National Education Association. That's what the dollars get funded through as well. So they're gifted this money from the federal government, and then it does not go directly to the schools. It slowly gets sifted out to the unions, to these NGOs, and then whatever's left, the little bit left over, then gets passed on to the schools or to the children.
Right. Can you imagine young children? Let's just take some little white children, and they see some Black children usually on the playground. You know how children, they stare at a little bit and then they start playing. You leave them alone, they kind of figure it out. Can you imagine some young white child? Oh, mommy, daddy, I see that little Black child. I have white privilege. I mean, this is just ludicrous. I mean, these people are warped, evil, whatever you want to call it, because they are literally ruining young children. They are just, it just turns my stomach. It just makes me so mad that you take, perfectly innocent children, okay, and then you turn them into whatever little robot or puppet on a string that you want them to be, and act like, and it's not for good. It's not for good. There's a place for shaping, of course, and mentoring and teaching your children. Parents are supposed to do that, but you're not supposed to warp their minds. You're not supposed to destroy basically their thinking and their minds. It's unbelievable. It is detestable.
And not only is it unbelievable, but we have to understand the videos that I'm showing you all are meant to be taught to other people's children.
Yeah.
The framework that you just saw is the framework they want the teachers and counselors and administrators to use in K through 12 and also collegiate education. So this is what it is.
But here's a good question. What happens when this parent changes her mind, right? When it's no longer fashionable to be the queen of white guilt, thinly veiled racist. When that's no longer in vogue and she's on to the next thing, whether it's transgenderism or whatever the next, uber liberal thing coming down the pipe is going to be, what happens to that child who believed what you said? They're stuck with that quote unquote white fantasy, white privilege thing in their head, and it's going to be with them for their entire lives. This is the damage that this thing is doing. And this is why it was so important and so, wonderful that when President Trump came in, one of the first things he attacked is this, because it's indoctrinating our children. And although the adults have the capacity to say, you know what, I was wrong, I'm moving forward, it becomes a part of who that child is, becomes a part of their thought process. And it's so hard to get it out of them once you plant that seed.
This is what they're hoping for.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Not just on this DEI crap, but also on the gender stuff. Mm-hmm. They're hoping that it changes the children at a fundamental level, so that they start thinking that they can no, there's no man, there's no woman, there's no particular sex, or you at birth you can be man, woman, them, birds, them, whatever, furry. This is what they want us, the children, thinking. So then we have a new generation of really nuts. That's what it is. It would be nuts. I want to acknowledge our super chatters here, folks. Thank you all so much. We certainly appreciate you. All right, let's see here. We have, all right, at last satisfied Patriot with the $50 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think there should be 4 choices on each of the ladies and a slot for all 3. I still choose the 3 of you, beautiful ladies. We
so
really
much.
Appreciate you. God bless you and thank you. Dallas with the $2 super chat says, sweet like honey, like a bee. It's Shelly E.
Let's go, Shelly. Wait a minute, Dallas. Here, I got a treat for you. It's Valentine's Day, right?
Oh.
And many people like sweet things on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I have double sweet. I have some chocolate with nuts, no less. And then I have some honey. It's even better on Valentine's Day. Thank you, Dallas.
You know what, Shelly? That's a doggone shame. You cannot be enticing like that. You can just look. Wait, I got some herbal tea. Look.
All right, Rob Otto with the $5 super chat says, okay, I didn't want to choose, but Shelly's rant got me. I choose you.
Thank you, absolutely. Let's go, Shelly. Let's go.
Tijuana Border Jumper with a $10 super chat says she doesn't deserve children. Mm-hmm. Kids should only be having fun, climbing trees, playing in dirt, riding bikes, and chasing butterflies. Shelly called her what I won't because they won't let me post. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Faye with the $2 super chat. Nicole, I love how you explain. Thank you. Thank you. Tijuana again says happy Valentine's Day. Oh, we got that one, I think. Okay. All right. So everybody's there. All right. So let's see here. Queen Trey's Chocolate City says, Queen Nicole, your mind intrigues me. So magnetic.
Yes. Thank you. Woo.
All right. Dallas with the $2 super chat says, been here since KJ's empty.
That's cute. Thank you, Dallas. That's funny. That's cute.
I know. It's empty.
That's cute.
Memories. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We love you all and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Sharing Valentine's Day with us tonight. All right. You guys got to see this next clip. So this is the Department of Education funded training program for teachers, which claims that babies develop racial bias as infants and begin attributing negative traits to non-dominant, non-white races by age 5. This is clip 2.
So this timeline provides an illustration of how racial awareness develops. According to research, 3-month-olds show a preference for looking at faces that are similar to the race they see most often. At 9 months, infants are unable to distinguish the facial features of racial groups other than their caregiver unless they frequently see images of racially diverse people. By the age of 2, children are putting people into categories based on race, and they are observing and internalizing power dynamics. At age 3, children develop biases and begin assigning meaning to race by attributing positive traits to the dominant race. However, children can still respond to positive messaging about their own and others' racial identities. By age 5, children of all races demonstrate social biases primarily by attributing negative traits to non-white races. At this age, children are capable of acting against racial injustice. Racist.
Here we go again. Nicole, what's your response to that?
You know, she acts like she's never met a 2-year-old. Have you ever met a 2-year-old? They don't like anybody. They just on a mission to do whatever it is on their little hearts to do, right? This is so disturbing that this is something that they're teaching educators, that they're rolling out to politicians who really just don't understand the end game here. When you talk about a 5-year-old fighting for racial injustice, now fighting for a crown, I got you. Maybe a little Play-Doh, absolutely. The last graham cracker, I've seen little kids fight to the death for the last snack, right? But not one time have I seen a white child or a black child look at a child of another race and say, well, you were oppressed so you can have a cookie. They don't come that way. This is some adult foolishness that we are trying so hard to figure out how we can mess up this next generation, how we can make them feel flat, how they're no longer binary. There's no boys, there's no girls, you're just things, right? And in being things, there's this thing about being oppressed, a victimhood that they're ascribing to people. Here's the flaw in that. If you're a black child and you live in an all-black town and everybody you come into contact with is black, would that not make black your dominant race? Fly in the ointment, right? So according to her, then black would be the dominant race for that child, and they would have no respect for or any kind of empathy toward white people. Now, we know that's not true. We know that's not true. Children like people who have food. They really like people who are fun and people who get down on their level and talk to them. That's what children like. These adults should be arrested. This is absolute abuse. They're tearing away at the fabric of our culture. And I cannot wait until we root them all out. This is absolute ridiculousness. Absolute.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to acknowledge our super chatters here, folks. Thank you so much. Tijuana with the $5 super chat says, how can a child assign so-called negative traits? God help those people. Exactly. Dallas Delight with the $5 super chat says, congrats to Nicole for joining the team. I missed the Russiana Queen. Support all the channels. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Dallas.
Ayana too. She's been so busy. But she hopefully will be back over the summer. So yes, indeed. And before I get you in on this, Shelly, I want to go to this next clip. This, and again, I think I saw someone question, this is all being paid for by our tax dollars. Mm-hmm. So these are all informational or tutorial that came out of NGOs that were pushed out by the Biden administration, Department of Education. So they are all tax funded. This next one is crazy. This is a Department of Education funded NGO as well, which argues that educators should destigmatize sex work, especially for queer and trans people of color and LGBT plus youth. This is clip 3.
So our third point that we do bring up and cover in this mini presentation is understanding the importance of sex work in the LGBT plus community and in LGBT youth survival, because especially for queer and trans people of color, and most emphatically Black trans women, this often is a means of income. And by not talking about it and avoiding talking about that, we're actually making that worse and making it easier for people to be stigmatized who need support. So we want to make sure that that's something as educators that we're aware of, so that we're able to support our communities. Next slide, please. And again, something that was sort of hinted at earlier, but like the technical term for it is what I want to address here is adultism. Hopefully folks in this space have already heard this term, but if you haven't, quick definition is that adultism is the oppression experienced by children and young people at the hands of adult and adult produced / adult tailored systems. This is a quote from an anthropologist who studies adultism. So what that means in layman's terms is that adultism is the larger cultural understanding that children should not be listened to, should not be heard, should not be respected, because people who have seniority of age kind of automatically are trusted and seen as being more knowledgeable and seen as being the people who should be guiding and telling children what.
Shelley, what do you think on that? Adultism? Oppression?
That's a new one for me too. I'm like, what the hell is adultism? So the translation, children get to run everything. That's number one. Number two, adults, you have no say over your own children, let alone any children when you are in the room, or you don't get to command the room, so to speak. Number three, ultimately, this is what this is doing. This is setting up these young people to be abused, victimized, exploited, trafficked, whatever, and they're making it okay. So if a young person, whatever, they're legitimizing sex work or whatever they call it, that means if a young person, let's say a 14, 13-year-old, a young child is saying that he or she is performing sex work. So then there's no need to go and look for the adult that is in the wrong, because we're legitimizing it. So it's nothing is wrong about it. So why not? These people are, again, they're putting these people these children in harm's way to be all kinds of abuse up and down. And I'm going to say it, every orifice that they have, and it's going to be at the hands of adults who they are now also by default legitimizing. Because if adults have no say, there's no one can say that another adult is right or wrong for abusing a child or molesting or grooming. You can't say that, because the children are, they're legitimizing the sex work. And then if you, it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. These people, I'm using that word very loosely. They are evil. They need to, what we used to do back in the, tar and feather, or they were in Saudi Arabia. When I was in Saudi Arabia, they had this place we call it Chop Chop Square. And these are the places, this is the place where I think it was, I don't know how frequently it was, but they would take people to this place that committed crimes, and they would basically, I guess, cut off their fingers, cut off their private parts, whatever. But it's ludicrous. We need stuff like that for people who abuse children. And these people are setting them up to be abused.
Yeah. Nicole, I mean, to me, that whole adultism is what you said, Shelley. They are trying to create this society where children are no longer looked upon as innocent, as something different than adult. They're trying to blur the lines. And then, so when you couple that with then, this push on sexualizing the children, the next step that I see, the obvious step would be, pedophilia and so on and so forth. No,
well, they don't even use that word. You won't ever hear a leftist say pedophilia. They'll say sex work. Preparing LGBTQIA children to become sex workers, to destigmatizing sex work. And it started a long time ago with this destigmatization thing. A prostitute, a hoe, whore, whatever you want to call them. But what we're not going to call them is sex workers, because sex workers implies that somewhere somebody is punching the clock. There may be some benefits. You know what I mean? You got PTO. This is not sex work. This is, again, good versus evil. These are people who have no respect for life from conception forward. And they're showing us that. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell your children that you're not in charge. Adults are not in charge of you. Just because they're older than you and they have more life experience and they've lived through other things and they manage their lives well, doesn't mean that you can't do what you want to do. Johnny, if you want to turn into Joanna and then go work at a strip club and have 3 or 4 boyfriends or sex work, it's perfectly fine with us, Johnny. And our tax dollars are paying this non-governmental organization to teach this to the people who we leave in charge of our children. Yeah. Do you not see this circle that's spinning around? And to quote Kamala, it's not enough to be woke. You got to be the wokest. You got to be the woker. You got to be the wokest. This is what they mean by that. Mm-hmm. To think so far out of the box, to harm children, to harm our culture, because this is what this is doing. And when they focus in on little brown and black children, tell me again about who's the racist. Tell me again, because we're doing it to ourselves. Newsflash: the biggest enemy of black people in this country is black people. Make no mistake. The biggest enemy we have is within. The enemy within. We're never good enough, even when we're outstanding. We don't do enough, even when we're the best in the bunch. We tear each other down, and now we're tearing our children apart and telling them it's okay to be a gay or a lesbian and or a transgender hoe. No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you. I don't have that to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, this is nothing but, we understand this, the way that they're talking about it, getting rid of the idea of child and adult. It also goes against the order that God has for the design of our lives. We know this. There's a distinction between mother, father, husband, wife. And then that is the order of how our lives are supposed to go in. So when they change all of that, they're breaking down God's order for our life, and it's really chaotic. This is what they want. This is what they want. And like you mentioned, Shelley, it opens up terrible abuse of children, which we are seeing. But they're not going to call it abuse. See, they won't call it abuse. They would say children eventually have consent to do this. And then we see on the other end, and you guys, I encourage you to go back and watch this prior week's day's episode from here, where we talked about what they're doing in Maryland, where they're trying to weaken parental consent in education. Not parental, parental control. They're trying to weaken that. So all of this is connected. We have to stay vigilant. We have to stay on top of this. And this is why it's important to plug into communities and channels like ours, because we keep one another, iron sharpens iron, and we keep one another informed. Because folks, what goes here in Maryland, don't think if you live in Florida or Texas or where else, this is going to happen there, because we got 4 years right now. God willing, we get another conservative in the White House, and you get another conservative in wherever you are. But still, this stuff, they will spread this stuff. Believe me,
very
quickly. Unchecked.
Very quickly.
All right. I want to say thank you to our super chats here, folks. Thank you all so much. All right, and happy Valentine's Day. So Tijuana Border Jumper with the $5 super chat says, how can a child assign so-called negative traits? God help those people. Absolutely, Tijuana. Teresa Raimundo with the $10 super chat says, I love you ladies for truth, and you all deserve a beautiful Valentine's Day. Thank you. And happy Valentine's Day to you too, Teresa. All right, Tijuana Border Jumper with the $5 super chat says, there's nothing more demeaning than thinking you have to sell your body. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
But the key to this.
I'm
sorry.
City.
Oh, go ahead and do that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Trey's Chocolate City with the $20 super chat says, for Queen Nicole, I'm risking it all for you.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you.
Elmer with $2 super chat says, DEI is wicked.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say the key to this is that these young people will be, I guess, warped into thinking that they have to do. So in a sense, they're not even thinking that they have to sell their body. What they have been taught is that it's okay, and that the adults doing it to them, it's okay. So it's kind of like the opposite of what they're teaching them. They're teaching them from the beginning that it's okay. So that way they don't have any filters, or they won't have any modesty.
Shame. They won't have any shame.
Yeah,
Right.
built in. It's twisted. It's twisted.
Well,
Yeah.
we're teaching them that they have no value. I mean, we're
Right.
teaching them they have no value from the beginning.
Absolutely.
So what does it mean to give away your body when your body is, quote unquote, a clump of cells? What does
Right.
that mean? What does that mean? This is
Yep.
They're going for a godless society, and I'm going to tell you, God's not going to stand for it. He's just
And
not.
not only that, but they're also saying your body is a commodity.
Mhm.
It's worth it can be bought and sold. And this is what I said, about prostitution, about abortion, all of this. It's commodifying human life. That is what it's doing. And so it's like, well, how much are you worth? How much is it worth to do you? This means nothing. Sexual intercourse is no longer have meaning. It no longer is there for this. It has reverence because we bring forth life.
Right.
That's done. They don't want to connect those dots. They no longer want it to hold that reverence. They want it to be just a commodity, something that can be, just thrown about, just like the girl on OnlyFans sleeping with 1,000 men. A transaction. That's what they want it to be, transactional. And if something comes out of it, that can be killed too.
Yeah, that clump of cells has got to go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. All right. So thank you all so much, guys. We have merch. Check out our merch store. We have, if you go to our website, www.popandpoliticslive.com and click shop, you will find all of our merch there. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, we have mugs, hats, anything you need. If you wanted to say your saying that we say on the show, we also have the Butch Bishop with Shelly Coin. We have that shirt available on the website also. So get your Pop and Politics merch right there on popandpoliticslive.com/shop. Yes, that's a really cool shirt.
It looks just like her too, doesn't it? It looks just like her.
Yeah, it does. It does. And a fan sent that in. So yeah. Yep. All right. So moving right along, I want to talk about JD Vance. JD Vance, another brilliant decision of Trump's to make him the VP. And he recently was at the Munich Security Conference, and he was magnificent. And so I want you guys to take a look at this clip to compare from when VP Kamala Harris was there, and then of course this year when JD Vance was there. Here is clip 4.
We should note, again, you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your talk? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
Now, these cavalier statements are shocking to American ears. For years, we've been told that everything we fund and support is in the name of our shared democratic values. Everything from our Ukraine policy to digital censorship is billed as a defense of democracy. But when we see European courts canceling elections and senior officials threatening to cancel others, we ought to ask whether we're holding ourselves to an appropriately high standard.
But when you present the suggestion that anyone is saying that it is time for a new generation and they're running against the person who is president, and when presented as though it's an attack, I would like to let us all be clear that the attack is misplaced. If the point of it is that we need leadership that is strong, because we have a strong leader in Joe Biden.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
She's so pleased with herself. She is just so pleased with herself. She's like, I gave you some word salad and you liked it. You know.
Oh my God.
Andrea, that's Andrea, right? Andrea didn't know what the hell she said. She didn't know.
Nobody did, but they never said anything about it.
I still don't know what she said.
No. Oh my gosh. Thank you. They are gone. They are gone. Vice President J.D. Vance was sharp as a tack in Munich Security Conference in Germany. It was delivered his first major speech a couple days ago, on Friday, actually. Was this Friday? It was a couple days ago, I believe.
Days ago. I think it was days ago.
And during his speech, I mean, he did not hold back. He talked about the importance of free speech and chided the EU for not rallying behind free speech. Nicole, what do you think of his performance there?
I thought, JD understands that he is actually kind of on deck to be the next presidential candidate for the Republican Party. But he is also a very strong American. And he's saying to these Europeans what we've been dying to say to them for 4 years. That, listen, you guys have got to get it together, and you've got to get it together quick. We don't have time to waste for you to debate about it. You will have elections because you're supposed to have elections. And people who are saying that you shouldn't, or you should skip the next election, you're going to have to answer for that. We put a lot of money into NATO. We put a ton of money into NATO. And most of the other countries aren't paying anywhere near their fair share. It feels like under the Biden administration, things just kind of slipped away. People kind of did what they wanted to do. They had this BRICS things coming that they were going to try to devalue the dollar all the whole time while we're paying the world to be our friend. I think JD finally put to rest that Donald Trump is not going to be a one-off, that he's coming behind him, and he's got a really good sense of self and what the world should look like.
Yeah. Shelley, I mean, he went in on this idea of illegal immigration and out of control migration is what he stated. I want you to get your thoughts on this part where he said more and more all over Europe, they're voting for political leaders who promise to put an end to out of control migration. Now, I happen to agree with a lot of these concerns, but you don't have to agree with me. I just think that people care about their homes, they care about their dreams, they care about their safety and their capacity to provide for themselves and their children, and they're smart.
Yeah, look, what JD Vance is doing, certainly by extension, the Trump administration, and Trump has already, in less than a month, he is already taking the American dream, the MAGA dream, if you will, across the country and around the world. He's spreading it piece by piece, little bit by little bit. Europeans with their fluid, I guess, migration that he's talking about, what he's saying is, every European country, you have borders. You need to protect them. You need to invest. They're talking about NATO. The United States pays the most, pretty much in every damn organization that we're in. You have to invest in protecting your own borders, because America is not going to be doing it to the degree that we have done it. We're going to do America first. So France, you need to put France first. Italy, you need to put Italy first. UK, Germany, all of these European countries, you need to step up and say Spain first, whatever the country is, because America has had it. This is the message that we are exporting now. We're stopping the exporting of the transgenderism and all of these many different sexes or genders. That's coming to an end. We are taking the MAGA, the American message around the world. And if you're not on board, you will be left behind. But you're not sending your illegals here. We're not having that either. And I suggest you protect your borders too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. America is back, baby.
Yes, sir.
America is back. What'd you say, Nicole?
I said daddy's home. Yes, he is.
He is. Yes, he is. And he's going to take care of his babies.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I was excited to see him there. He did a stellar job. This has been a great week for America, for MAGA, for Trump. All in all, a great week. And so I want to go ahead with this super chat here from Tijuana Border Jumper. Says, I love you all, but I choose Nicole with her conservative team. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you, Tijuana.
Thank you, Tijuana.
Thank you.
All right. So Nicole is running away with this. We got one more topic for me and Shelly and I to try to come back on this. It looks like Nicole will be the pop and politics patriot.
I know, right?
So we will see here. If you guys give us Shelly and I a little bit of love, that's okay. All right. Before we leave tonight, I do want to talk about this article out from, let me see here. Where do I have it here? Okay. An article recently out on, I forget the name of the publication. One second. Newsone. So Newsone is an urban style publication, and it was pretty nasty. So the headline on this publication is Trump's cadre of Black supporters gave up everything and got nothing in return. So it says here, throughout the 2024 presidential campaign, we saw a lot of Black and brown people make the Thanos choice. They sacrificed everything to associate themselves with Trump, but in the end, it got them nothing. In fact, many cases, they're worse off than before they dared associate themselves with now 47th president of the United States. They all went out to battle for Trump and ended up losers. They sacrificed everything and ended up with an empty hand. They're like the opposite of the Avengers. In fact, let's call them the surrenders, because they certainly gave up any scraps of dignity, integrity, and cultural loyalty a long time ago. And they also go on in this article for Newsone and talk about, for instance, Byron Donalds. So they say that he got the shorthand of the stick. He did not get into any of the cabinet positions. He was not named the VP. And so they feel like, many people, including like on the left, mostly on the left, have said that President Trump did not have many Black or brown people in his cabinet or appointed. And so they said we're losers. So I ask you, ladies, we're all three big MAGA Trump supporters. Shelly, do you feel like a loser?
No, I don't. November the 5th, I won. We won. I voted for Trump 3 times on purpose, no apologies, and we won. I believe we won 3 times, but we were cheated out of one of them, okay? But nevertheless, I think we won. When I read that article and I was looking at some other comparison articles, one of the things that came to my mind is this. These Black people who are saying this is interesting because these are some of the same types of people who always say, well, it should be proportional, right? Because Black people are about 13, 14% or, of the population. Well, if you look at Trump's administration, out of about I think 15 or 20 people that he nominated or for the cabinet, if 3 of them are Black and minority, that's about 15%. So, hey, this is your equity, right? The percentages and the proportions, they kind of line up. So what the hell are you complaining about? And not only that, even if for any Black or minority person that he does nominate and that is ultimately confirmed, you're the same people who are going to say, well, you're just Uncle Tom's or you're sellouts or coons or whatever. It's a no-win situation. So you know what? I'm taking my win in the White House, the Senate, and the Congress, and we are riding it all the way for 4 years, baby.
Yeah. Ride that donkey. Nicole, what did you think about what that article said, and particularly about what they said about Byron Donalds?
So Byron, and just being full disclosure, Byron Donalds is the chairman of the board that I sit on for the Black Conservative Federation. Clearly, this article is written by somebody with the political acumen of a dead fly. They have no idea what they're talking about, but there's a big difference between the way that Black Republicans move and Black Democrats move. Black Democrats have a way of telegraphing every single thing they do, and they're incredibly transactional. And, again, this is a style difference. I can tell you that almost every Black person that worked on Team Trump, every single one of us has gotten well more than we could have ever expected. And if you're looking for Byron Donalds and where his career is moving toward, I'm not at liberty to say, but let me tell you, his future is so bright, you're going to need your shades. The same thing with Wesley Hunt. Let me tell you, there are some people who have 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue stamped on the back of their neck, and he's one of them. You talk about Tim Scott. He's going to have a very brilliant future very shortly. Winsome Sears, another person who was swinging for the fences. But we do have cabinet appointees. We have Scott Turner, who's got HUD. We've got the deputy press secretary. We've got Marcus Towns, who runs Foreign Service. But the difference is you don't see us out there flapping our eyelashes and bopping our gums. You know what we're doing? Working.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what Republicans do. We work.
And all those people you named, Nicole, all those people you named, they're not going to succeed or excel just because they are Black.
Exactly.
They do the work, and they earn it, and they do whatever is necessary to elevate and advance the values that they want to, that they know that are American values and that they want to see on display.
Every single one of them have paid their quote unquote dues. Most of them that can track their lineage back to their grandparents or great grandparents being enslaved or in Jim Crow, but we do have some younger people like, my favorite, I guess he's no longer my intern now, but he was our intern. Then he turned into a deputy chief of staff and our chief of staff. And he just landed a heck of a job with the Department of Energy in the science office as their chief of staff. So there are lots and lots of Black Republicans who are staffing, who are doing the right things. Then, of course, the incomparable Lynn Patton, who's been a Trump senior advisor for more than 15 years. More than 15 years with this family. So there are lots of people, but what you don't see is showboating. And that's just not who we are. We're not built that way. Janiyah, who does Black media for the Trump team, you may see her in a video here or there. CJ Pearson, who's, suing the pants off of the New Yorker for calling his party racist because they cropped all of the Black folk out. But, we have jobs, we have families, we have all of these things like regular people. What we don't have is hubris. We're light on that. We're gonna let y'all Black Democrats have that. We're gonna keep our heads down and do our work and walk in these blessings because we're blessed over here, fam. Don't worry about us. We good.
Yeah.
And all of the people that you all named, I would line up behind them multiple times any day of the week, any day of the year, before I would line up behind loser Kamala Harris. She's a loser. She shouldn't have been VP. And now they're trying to push her out to be the governor of California. But she is the worst of the worst. So if that's what you all believe is Black excellence, I don't want anything. I don't want any part of it. And I don't want any part of your identity politics. I don't want any part of your Black excellence, for whatever you call it. You can have it, because we know that under President Trump, not just Black, not white, not Asian, everyone succeeded. Everyone saw their pocketbooks get fatter. It wasn't about gender. It wasn't about where you live, if you lived in the city or if you lived in the country, you lived in the suburbs, you lived in the rural area. Everyone did well. And so over the next 4 years, we're looking forward to that too. And because you all are so petty and so nasty and low and just disgusting, you can't find anything negative to say, because everyone succeeds in Trump's America. You have to then try to divide us, emotionalize it, and make it seem like we as Black people aren't getting our just fruit or whatever. We are, and we are happy. We have our borders closed, 90% capture rate now at the border. We're seeing them. We're hostages coming home every day. Since one man only been in office for 3 weeks. Trillions of dollars in fraud and things found in our government that we as taxpayers worked hard for. I mean, it doesn't get any sweeter than that.
No, it doesn't. It's wonderful. And you know what, Nicole, when you were talking about all these different, I guess, positions and places where these people are. Another thing we always talk about is how politics is really local and we need people downstream. Well, hey, everybody's not, so to speak, on the front line, but everybody, wherever they are, they're doing a damn good job and they are doing what matters for the long term. Like someone said, not just for show, not just to say I'm on Trump's arm or whatever. They are doing, again, to use the left's language, they're doing the work. So they're doing it where it needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And all of you sore losers, take your L's and go sit on it, because we're going to take our wins and we are going with it. We are running with it. Doge is on the rampage. I love it. I am so tickled about Doge just knocking down all of this government waste, fraud, and abuse. I love it. I don't know if I was telling KJ and Nicole earlier, I don't know if I'm just heartless or damn it, it's just funny, because every time I hear it, I am tickled pink. Knock it down.
Yeah.
I love it.
And we have some super chats here. This is hilarious. Let's see here. Tijuana Border Jumper. Oh no, says I love you all, but not this one. I wanted to, with Torrance Prince 516 with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Because whoever wrote that article, that's defamation of character. You just big mad. All right. Big great. This is the one I was talking about. The $5 super chat says, "I'll campaign to the grave to keep Willie Brown's side chick from running California."
I know that's right. Make sure you campaign, Tijuana, campaign.
And she certainly was his side chick. But this is what they do. This is what we see. You know, I could care less who is there, really, Black or white, female, male. We know, and I would prefer this lily white cabinet over the Black one that just left. I mean, this is night and day between even the Corinne Jean-Pierre and Caroline Leavitt. You can see the total difference in all of this stuff. I mean, why are they want to continue to pick at skin color when the man is doing a terrific job and the voters see it? They just had poll after poll show that President Trump's approval rating is higher this time than it was the last time he was in office.
Absolutely. And the words that they use to describe him are power words. You know, my last pick on that article from Newsone was the idea that we, some way or another, crashed out, that we put everything we had into this. No, honey, this is what we do at political campaigns. We work the campaign. We go talk to other people about the candidate. We don't have to make things up. We just tell it like it is and explain to you how this person intends to improve not only your community, but America as a whole, right? Nobody here sold their soul. There's nobody I know that's soulless. If anything, we were people who were standing on what we believe in. And if you're looking for a frame of reference, I hope your grandparents are still alive. Go talk to one of them and they'll let you know what they stood for when they were young people. They wanted a better country for everybody. They wanted traditional values. Life had value. People weren't lining up to have abortions at political rallies. You see what I'm saying? Life was very different. We're trying to get back to a place where everything has meaning and value, and a rising tide lifts all ships. So even your bitter Betty ass can have some of this win too. He's going to reduce.
If they don't want to be lifted, they can drown. That's how I feel right now. I don't care. Drown if they want to drown. Oh, wow. I want to be lifted. I don't care what color the cabinet is or what it looks like, as long as it's doing what is best for America. And at the end of the day, the money that we save is all green.
And guess what? This is why it feels so good. See, when you are assisting on campaigns and you're involved in the political debates and you're involved in, helping your candidate win because you believe in what they are doing, because you have researched the issues and you know what matters to you, your community, your family, your area. When all of that is why you do it. When he wins, it's a win.
Oh yeah.
But when you are helping a candidate based off of race or identity politics, that's when it doesn't. You hurt. You hurt because you're not doing it, because of the fruit. You're not really doing it because of what matters. You're doing it because of identity politics. So this is why I don't care who they put in there. Honestly, I really don't. I don't care what people look like anymore. I used to. I don't care anymore. Are they making policy and making decisions that will benefit my life? Whether I'm blue, black, orange, green, purple.
Exactly.
And if that is the case, then it is a win for me.
Isn't it funny that the one thing that they don't want to see flattened is race? They don't want anybody to have a gender. You can't have your own religion. You can't have any of that. But the one thing that you can do is set yourself apart by race. And that is absolutely disgusting. The one attribute that none of us have any control over.
Zero.
None of anything we can do about whatever skin color you were born with, right? The problem that they're going to have is that this younger generation that's coming up, they don't really see themselves as black, white, brown. They just kind of see themselves as people. So to a degree, their flattening is working. It's just not working in the areas where they think it should work. This is going to be an interesting thing. Again, politics for us is not transactional. We didn't help Trump for a check. We didn't help Trump, just for a tax break. We did it for the country. And this is why you don't see us crying anymore. There's no tears over here, fam. Not one tear. Now, if he abolishes the IRS, you're going to see a lot of tears. I'm going to be on here. I'm going to be weeping like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I mean, it's going to be a whole
situation. We have proof. We have many of proofs, but we certainly have a big proof. every predominantly Black city or town in America that is run by predominantly Black people, tell me how that has worked out for you. Literal, tell me how this worked out for you. I'll give you another proof. Most Black churches, or what they call Black churches, predominantly Black churches, these are some of the same people. They are in the pew on Sunday. They are in church before the church doors open. But these are some of the same people who will then come out and say white people are the devil, or white people bad, or whatever bad. Everything is by skin color. But then they'll tell you, oh, God loves everybody. Really? And well, if God knew what he was doing, don't you think he knew that he was making some people different shades of whatever color? And that's what he knew what he was doing. So which is it? This is why these people are they're crazy in a way. Not only are they're crazy, some of them, and some of them are evil and mean, but by and large, they're just crazy and warped. I'm sick of it. I don't care, again, what they look like, as long as they're doing what's best for the country. And right now, that man and his administration happens to be called Donald J. Trump.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for us tonight, folks. Okay. We really appreciate you all for spending your Valentine's Day Friday night with us. All right. And we had a fun contest going on tonight. So we were tallying up the super chats to see who would get the most super chats to be the Pop and Politics Patriot Valentine of 2025. And the winner is, let's see here. All right, Nicole. And she just got another one from Rico.
Another one.
$2 big Papa.
Rico. Happy Valentine's Day.
So Nicole is our Valentine for 2025.
Congratulations, Nicole.
Yes, congratulations.
The patron poppin'. What is it?
Politics,
Patriot.
Go ahead, say something, Nicole. Go ahead, say something, Nicole. Quick speech. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. You got to give your Miss America speech. Or you want to save the world? What do you want to do to save the world?
First, I want to thank God and my family, all of my friends. I especially want to thank the chat. Thank you, Tijuana Border Jumper, and everyone else. And thank you, Puddin' Pop. No, thank you guys so much. This was a bunch of fun. KJ always has the best ideas. So there's going to be so many fun things coming down the pipe, especially when we're doing it on the weekend. Just stay tuned and stay with us. And if you have not ordered your merch, I'm going to keep pushing you. If you haven't ordered your merch, this is your moment. You can still save Valentine's Day. If you refuse to buy something from the store, order, take a screenshot, text it to her and be like, babe, you're going to look so good in this, make sure that you get those last minute orders in.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, again, we want to wish all of you a wonderful, happy Valentine's Day. Don't forget tomorrow at 12 noon, that is the deadline President Trump put out to bring all the hostages home. So we will be following that. And he says if they are not, all hell is going to break loose. So we are following that to see what exactly occurs there. So prayers, everybody pray and, pray that God just handles the situation. I certainly will do that. Also tomorrow, the Just the Guys is our brother station here on YouTube, Just the Guys podcast. So they will be going live tomorrow at 6. I think it's either 6 or 6:30 tomorrow. So definitely go over to Just the Guys podcast and hit that notification bell so you know when they go live. And I'm sure they're going to break down any breaking news out of the Middle East and so on. So we will keep you all up to date on that. And I will be back on Sunday with Christian Conservative. So definitely check out my sister channel, KJCJ Christian Conservative. We will be also counting down the breaking news out of the Middle East. And then we always run down what happens on the Sunday morning stations shows. So definitely check me out there. And we will be back on Monday night, our Monday night live. So guys, thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you,
Count
everybody.
your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.